is Friday, the 5th of October, and today we decided to begin developing our ideas and pretty much just formulate them into a basic plan. We had kind of thought about it earlier, but we hadn't really done anything finite on the subject of, well, our personal project. So we just kind of wanted to translate this really, really basic thought we had in our heads into a slightly more concrete outline of what we wanted to do, and then sort of have a list of things we wanted to accomplish and what we wanted to do to accomplish them.
The central idea is the burger, of course. The first idea we had was a burger and a kebab combined. We got this from first combining a kebab and a pizza, and we decided that a kebab and a burger might be a better idea, and it might also taste really good.
So pretty much the idea was that the typical fast food burger doesn't have enough emphasis on the meat. It's usually quite thin, and when we went and ate burgers, we felt that we didn't taste it enough. So that's of course one thing that we're going to add on the list to testing. Test to see what's an important thing in the taste of a burger, and we're going to see if our idea actually holds up. And in a kebab, there's a lot of meat, and you do taste the meat because it has spices and there's so much of it. But we felt that it was kind of big and messy, and it wasn't convenient to eat quickly or on the go. And it's usually has sauce spilling out of it, and it's just not that it's just not that nice to eat. So we decided that if you have sort of the clean-cut atmosphere, or bun of a standard burger, and the pretty terrific meat of a kebab, we could invent something that was more flavorful and yet easier to handle than a kebab or a burger.
Okay, so our prioritized goal, this was obvious. We must create a final edible version of the kebab burger. It was hard to decide whether any other criteria we would have to accomplish due to many different paths we could take, so we decided to move on to steps we felt we need to accomplish to create this product.
So market research is an important step we decided we must undertake. So I guess seeing what major corporations have done could give us a great idea on what we could do. Of course, they've done tons of market research of their own. They know what people like, and if we know what they have, then we know what people like, sort of, so to speak. Yeah, if our company were real, well, it's obviously not, we would need to do this on a far larger scale, but we pretty much can only look at the few chains that we have here in Germany, and we also want to do surveys, because seeing what people like, we could do a bit of our own research on what people like. We would only have a pretty narrow segment of the population, just some of the people in our classes, and that's just 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds pretty much. So
14.
Yeah, and there's a few 14-year-olds. So we wouldn't have such a wide scale of the population. We'd mainly have, kind of people like us. But maybe that's a good idea, or a good thing. Because if we'd have a restaurant like this, I mean, we wouldn't start with 10 restaurants. We'd maybe have one or two. We would specifically put them in locations where lots of 14 or 15-year-olds would be. And due to us knowing what they like, they would pretty much like our product. Here's our list. We wanted to see
research through a survey what people like in their burger and what they like, what their favorite burger looks like, and kind of taking those basic ideas and combining them with our kebab burger. So we'd not only have what we want to do, but also what they like seeing and eating.
So there's a lot of different things we could ask about. a lot of it is also what it looks like. If people, I mean, usually in pictures you see this melted cheese just sort of dripping out of the side, and that really makes people hungry, and we want to know what people like to eat, but also what they like to see, because that'll help us with the next segment of our thing, which is a picture of the actual burger.
Yeah, so for our burger, we were going to first research how big companies create photos of their burgers, and so including colors and background and how they build the burger so that it looks appetizing. So yeah, we were going to research that and then take that research into creating our own photo in a very high resolution.
Yeah, that's one of our requirements. We have several requirements here. We have 5 of them, actually, things we want to achieve or things we want to do to achieve our thing. So very high resolution is important. I mean, most proper cameras can do that nowadays, and we want our product to look good. But we sort of also have to use what we have, because once we have this burger that we think tastes good, we're going to have to use exactly that. We can't start changing it because it might affect the taste. So we're going to have to make the burger we come up with that tastes good also look good. So maybe move around the ingredients, see what we can do there. Alright, we decided to expand our project from just being about the burger to a few other things. We felt that just making the burger would make the product or the project too one-dimensional. I mean, you can only do so many things before you start repeating yourself. And we decided that a lot of other things that go with a burger would be a good idea. So the first thing we decided to do was to have a picture of it. I mean, whenever you are walking in town or something, you always see these big, ultra high resolution pictures of these really juicy looking burgers, and the ones you get at the stores never look the way that they're advertised, but we want ours to at least look similar to what a professional photo would look like. So we're going to spend, well, I don't know what exactly we have to do, so we're going to research, first of all, on what we need to do for such a photo, what steps we need to take, how we can make our burger look as good as we can make it, tall and juicy. So definitely it's an important thing to research this, and to maybe we can look at what other stores already have, but we're going to need to maybe ask someone, a professional, how they would do it. I'm sure there's probably guides or maybe videos on the internet showing how this is done, so we could have a look at those. And then, of course, once we have what we need to make the presentation great. So our final product, we want it to be printed on large card, A2 or A1, such as one would find in a store or something, up at the menu, so that, I don't know, the customers can see it. So it needs to be a quality setting. I mean, we can't just have it on like a counter. Usually what stores will do is they will have it in front of white card, and then they'll Photoshop it into other settings. So we'll have it in front of white card or something that'll make it look quite plain, and if we want it to be somewhere else, we can Photoshop it to change the theme of it, but we won't do that. We won't put it somewhere automatically. And another requirement we have is it must make the product seem appealing. I mean, if it doesn't look good in the picture, then there's absolutely no point to what we're doing. So pretty much we have to make it look good, make it look juicy, and make it professional.
So we also wanted to create a box to contain the our döner burger, and this box needs to be visually appealing, because firstly, this will be like kind of the first impression which they will get when they like get the burger, not only when they see it as in the photo or on the menu, but when they first get it in the box. And this box, we want it to look good, also because if someone else walks into the store and then sees this box and the person, well, if a different person buys it and another one comes in the store and he sees that box, that he can also that he'd also go into the store and then buy it, and more of our product would be sold. We also want the box to contain our logo because the box needs to represent our company, and yeah, that's why it needs to be a high quality box, because if our company's supposed to be something high quality and it tastes good, good food, then our box needs to represent that.
It has to be at the same level. We can't have our box falling behind and be a shortcoming. So if we have this level of quality that our product looks good on the picture and it looks good when you buy one, we want it to look good in the box for our customers and for other people who may see a customer walking around with it. Like, what does he have? I want that. That's what we're looking for. So,
yeah. The box also needs to protect the product, because if the customer then gets his burger and then wants to eat it and it's all squished and mushy and the sauce has ruined all the bread and it just looks gross, then it would bring the average it would bring like the it
would bring the experience down. He wouldn't be happy. I mean, if you have a burger to go, it's in the paper bag. You don't want to get home and have it be completely destroyed. So, keeping the product intact and so it's fluffy and good. It's just something we want.
It also needs to insulate the heat, because you don't want a cold burger. If you've ever had a cheeseburger and you take it home, after 10 minutes it will be cold and you'd either have to put it in a microwave, which kind of ruins the taste of it, or you eat it cold and just doesn't taste as good. So we want to prevent that by having a box which can keep the heat. Our box also needs to contain nutritional information so that the person who buys the product knows what's inside the burger and knows how many calories there are if someone's on a diet, and he can keep his schedule to
I think
date.
it's a legal requirement as well. Yeah, but it is important. Some people will definitely want to watch what they're eating, and they don't want to eat something too fatty or too something. Diabetes is a big factor. They have to know how much sugar is in there. So it's always a good thing to have nutritional information.
Okay, so we also really want the box to contain or display a photo of the burger. So, as Mark already said, if a different customer has this box and another one sees it, that he also sees what's inside the box, and then if he's at the counter, he knows what he's ordering and he knows what it looks like. And it doesn't even have to be at the store. If someone walks past you on the street and you see the box, and you see that the product inside looks really good, you'd also probably either ask where it is, or if where he got it, or if you know where he got it, then you might try that. So we also want the box to be out of a stable material, so probably relatively strong cardboard or something similar, just like McDonald's and Burger King use for their boxes. This is because it needs to be it needs to protect the product, as we already said.
Yeah, like points.
So thank you. Yeah.
All right. Another really important thing is now this isn't really gonna pertain to us so much, like if we would have a small store, as to a large chain, but the boxes are always they always come flat. They always come in a collapsed state. And that's just an economical aspect. If you have 1,000 boxes that you want to transport around, it's great. We skipped that one.
Okay. Yeah.
We already had that one. All right. Anyways, the idea is that if you have 1,000 of them, they take a lot less volume. If they're collapsed, you can ship a lot more of them. It's a lot cheaper. So then another point we have is that they must be easy to assemble from that collapsed state. I mean, you wouldn't want the workers to be fiddling around with this thing for 10 minutes. You want to have them, I don't know, just take it, flip it up, and I don't know, that has to be like a loop or something. But we'll also research how boxes are made so that you can easily assemble them,
and it's also important for the customer that he can easily open the box and doesn't have to fiddle around with it to get to the product, and yeah, it's easy for him to
this thing we're not entirely sure. I mean, this is a really early stage in our thing, but we want to make an advertisement for the product. Of course, we want a finished product, which is a video in at least 720p quality, which isn't like max. We could have 1080p, I guess, but 720p is good enough for all purposes, and it'll show the product. So that brings us to the next requirement. It must make the product seem appealing. I mean, if in the video the product's kind of falling apart and it looks gross, it won't be good. So we need it to be about as good as the ones for the photo, but not quite as good. I mean, it's only going to be on screen for a while. Maybe we can even couple the picture with the video and flash the picture up, but we're not sure because we haven't done this before. So we're going to have to do a lot of research about how advertisements for food is usually constructed, how long the food is actually on screen, if we want to have a theme to this, and how we're going to wrap all this together. I mean, it's going to be quite a lot of effort. So our video could also
yeah, it could also inform about the price, because it is very important these days, like how much a burger costs. If you don't want to pay 10 or 12 euros for fast food if you're just gonna buy one burger. So in our advertisement, it would have to say how much it costs, because if we do manage to make it for a relatively cheap price, then we'd get lots more customers if we should advertise this and everyone knows about it, that you can get a relatively cheap döner burger, which also looks really good and appealing.
Alright, we can rival it with other products. I mean, I'm not sure if we can do that, but sorry. Sort of, why would you have that when you can have this? We sort of have to talk about how a döner on its own and a burger on its own is inferior to a döner burger. I mean, that's pretty much what our product's about. So, sort of getting people onto the same idea we had, combining the two, is something that's going to be really important if we make this advertisement. And so, I don't know, we could take a lot of different paths. So we're just going to research in the next few weeks to see what we can do, what we can't do, and then what we should do. And we'll try to develop a video. So our requirements are, has to be at least 720p video quality, must show the product, must make it appealing.
Okay, and the last goal which we wanted to reach in our döner burger project is creating a logo. And we basically started by researching a bit about famous logos like McDonald's, and well, famous food company logos like McDonald's, Burger King, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we figured out that there are mainly three colors which really make the customer want to eat and buy more, and these three colors are yellow, red, and green. Like a salady green, and we'd want to we'd want to include these three colors, or well, we don't have to include all, but at least two of these three colors in our logo, because it our basic point of this whole product is, well, is to sell the döner burger. Well, it's not our point, but it is like, if we'd actually be designing this, it would be our goal to sell the product. So while designing the logo, we of course have to remember that, and have to include it while designing it.
Alright, so pretty much in conclusion, we have all these different things that we want to achieve. In total, that's the burger with everything that goes with that. The photo representing the burger. Perhaps a video or an advertisement. We also want to have a logo and a box. And pretty much with all these different things, we could almost have a little marketing strategy. I mean, our video would our video would relate to the box and to the burger, and the logo would be on the box. So we'd almost have a little company going. There's a lot more that belongs to it, like where we'd get our vegetables. We'd need all these major contractors for all these parts. But we'd pretty much have a basic idea of what we want to do, and we could almost start a small business with these plans, and that's kind of what we want to achieve. Have a marketing strategy, and yeah, just how to market a döner burger, how to make it successful, and that's what this product's all about. Taking different ideas, putting them together, and creating something better.